guys, I'm Shay.
I'm Sam.
Oh, man.
I'm Mike.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Katie.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're going to be doing a new version of Judge a Book by its cover.
Sibling style.
Sibling style. So here's the thing. We have a few books, and none of these people have read them, hopefully, so they don't know what they're about. So we're going to show them the cover, and they're going to try and guess what the book is about. And whoever is closest or the most creative gets a point, and then by the end, whoever wins is the winner. So the first cover that we are doing is Legend by Marie Lu.
Legend by Murray Liu. I'm going to say this book's about a gang of racers. Specifically motorcycle racers. I'm going to call the main character Frank. He's Italian, owns his own pizza shop.
Creativity.
Decided to sell his entire business and get into street bike racing. Rises to fame, but is destroyed by the evil crotch rocket.
Well, Mike obviously hasn't read this book. So, Legend by Marie Lu. As a lot of you know, this is Lucy Liu's sister wrote this. Great book. Loved it.
Don't try not to.
It's set in the 50s, right? The 2050s, of course. And it follows a young gentleman. Well, I don't want to give it away. So just know that there's a lot of bazookas and lots of like candy canes and sort of wholesome things like that. Spoiler alert: the good guys win in the end.
Nope.
And as you can see, the book is it's a legend unto itself. So pick it up. You're gonna love it.
Wow. That wasn't the version I read. This is about, this is a prequel to Top Gun, as you can tell by the, star and the stripes. Little pilot action going on. Tom Cruise, before he went all jumping up on a couch, is the legend in this movie. And it is about him teaming up with Buzz Lightyear, and they fly around the galaxy before they fly around the sky. That's it.
Okay, these people are all lying to you. So Legend by Marie Lu is actually a post-communist Russia story. It's 100 years later. Russia's bouncing back. It is a bit of a heartwarming story. I don't remember any bazookas. There was a young boy in a wooden boat with a tiger, but I think they stole that from something. So just skip chapter 3. It's irrelevant. You're going to love the ending. You should probably at least read half of it.
Wow.
I actually read this book.
All right.
And there's bazookas on almost every page. And candy canes, obviously.
What?
It's pretty heartwarming.
What are you saying? Anyway, all right. So it is about two different people. It's about this girl named June who was born into a wealthy military family, and she's like trained for combat and all that stuff. So actually, I guess Nick was good with that stuff. And then a boy named Day who lives in the slums and all that. And so June's brother gets murdered, and it is pinned on Day. And so the whole book is basically about trying to prove his innocence and all that stuff.
So, who was the closest?
So it's Slumdog Millionaire meets Life of Pi. Thank you. I'll take that one.
Nick gets a point. Good job, Nick.
The next book is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi.
Shatter Me. I'm going to say this wonderful novel
That you will never read.
is a modern retelling of the story of Frozen. Basically, this girl, as you can see from the eye, has the power to control the 4 seasons. Obviously, we see snow and dead trees. Okay, maybe 2 of the seasons. Or I guess that would be 1 of the seasons. We're going to say she has the power to control the seasons. At the top, it says, "My touch is lethal," and it's crossed out. Next to that, it says, "My touch is power." So obviously, she used to be a bad person. And she has used her powers for good by killing all the trees and turning everything into snow. I mean, that's what she used to do. It's about a 500-page book written in French and English.
Next
Yes.
person.
Good book. I would not recommend it.
Oh, yeah. So, Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. The sleeper novel of 2015. If you haven't read this book, you should be ashamed and embarrassed, both. Mike was right about one thing. There are 16 chapters, but he was wrong about everything else. This is, as any idiot could tell, simply by looking at the photo, this is a modern retelling of Medusa. Medusa, not Frozen.
Medusa oblongata.
The main character, Jenny, has the power to turn anyone she kisses into glass. And pure glass.
What?
And then they're very shatterable, obviously.
Oh, I get it.
And it's a shame. It's very along the lines of Twilight. A love that could never be. I love you, honey, but if I kiss you, then you're going to die because I'm going to turn you into glass and then you'll be dead. Beautiful book. I'd recommend it. Pick it up and watch for the sequel.
Okay. I think Shatter Me is about... I think it's like a thriller mystery about a porcelain doll that thinks she's real.
Ew.
And when you touch her, she comes to life and it's like... releases like a game of Jumanji. And her touch can be powerful but not lethal as long as she reels in her powers. I think that's it. That's what I think it's about. Every time.
So Shatter Me. The feminist movement has resurged. Essentially, they've burnt all the bras. They've officially stopped shaving.
Oh, golly.
This is nature getting highly uncontrolled. Women have shattered the image that the men have created for them throughout the ages. And they're going their own direction. So, for all of you feminists and all of you women out there who really need things to go in a different direction, look up at that glass ceiling and know it can be broken.
Wow, can I go?
Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi is actually about a girl. It's another dystopian novel, but this one's also kind of sci-fi. The people in it have powers, and the main girl, Juliet, her touch is lethal. Obviously, according to the book.
Yeah.
When she touches a person, they die. Tim, good job, and
I've read it.
Was she a doll?
Sleeper novel of
No.
2015.
She wasn't a doll.
she wasn't a doll.
Dang.
But yeah, so Tim actually gets the point, surprisingly. Go Tim. No. All right, so next up we have A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas.
A Court of Thorns,
Thorns.
and Roses. The sequel to A Glass of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Glass of Roses. Court of Glass.
Throne of Glass!
Okay, basketball glass. I'm going to say, this book, we're going to say set in the 1800s, post-apocalyptic, dystopian, young adult.
Wait!
It's pre-World War apocalypse. It's what retro apocalypse. Back in the day,
like dying.
but
I
apocalyptic,
had to
as if the world ended. Anyways, A Court of Thorns and Roses is about a girl named Sarah J. Maas. She wrote about herself. Complete egotistical author. This book is terrible, but I'm going to continue reading
I'm
it.
slamming all these books.
This book is about Sarah, who is a warrior princess.
Pretty cool.
She grew up in the 1800s during the apocalypse. Was very violent, a very violent child. But she used that violence with the help of her father and her uncle Sam to wield the power of thorns. Basically, she is equivalent to Bulbasaur.
That one over there.
She's got thorn powers where she can shoot thorns out of her fists. Great
Oh,
book,
yeah.
Okay.
except it's terrible.
Court of Thorns, I don't even want to talk about this. This is literally the worst book ever. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
It was written by Ernest Hemingway under the pen name Sarah Maas when he was just a raging drunk and couldn't even spell. Okay, there are literally 60 pages in the middle of this book that don't even have any ink on them. Like, you read a few chapters and then you just have to flip for 60 pages before you even get to like any more words. The short story is it's about a girl, Jenny. who she's an agoraphobic, trying to raise a rose bush in her kitchen without any sunlight or dirt or water or anything, and it's just the worst book. Once in a while, she like goes to the fridge and gets some, like reheats some mac and cheese. That's the highlight. Literally, worst book I've ever read.
Okay.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Yeah. Not what I was thinking. I was thinking.
Well, you obviously haven't read the book.
Thorns and Roses was about.
She can pronounce it correctly.
About the Queen of
Tongue
Hearts.
twist.
It is a story of how she became who she is. Very tragic and terrible things happen to her, by the way. It's just awful.
A Court of Thorns and Roses. Clearly not a post-apocalyptic 1800s bad printing where there was an error and has a journal section in the middle.
Journal section.
However, for those of us who have read it, it's very simple. It is about a love triangle. Shakespearean, kind of, but it's not actually Shakespearean times. But unfortunately, the man had to climb up this trellis that was full of rose bushes, enormous rose bushes, too much nitrogen fertilizer. That's what happens with that.
Good to know.
To get to his so-called love, which she was really not his type and completely out of his reach, but he's a persistent little individual. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it doesn't go well for him. Gravity and thorns.
Does he drink the poison?
No, there's no poison.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gravity and Thorns.
Okay, so A Court of Thorns and Roses. This book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling.
Oh, wow!
And it is about a girl who is poor and it's winter and she goes out and she kills a wolf. And the wolf turns out to be Fae. So as punishment, she is taken into the Fae world and has to live with them. And
They're bad and evil and scary and bad.
yeah, they're not good Fae. It's not like cute
Fairies.
little Tinkerbell fairies.
I
It's
think it's a
Fairies.
fairies.
But they're not fairies, they're fae.
They're
Oh,
not
boy.
good.
Fae?
Fae.
Is that the plural
Fae.
of fairies?
It's the text
No,
it's
version.
It's
Fairies
like...
is?
LOL.
No. Fae. Oh my gosh, no.
No!
Fae is
Fae.
like... It's
Fake
the...
creatures. Hello.
Yeah,
Fae?
it's like...
Fantasy?
Like humans.
Essentially, yes.
There's humans. There's...
Magical
there's fae.
beings. There's
Fae.
fae beings.
whatever.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Never heard
So
of
yes,
it.
they're fairies, but
Pixies,
they're not cute little
fairies,
Tinkerbell fairies.
Brownies.
They're scary.
You see brownies?
I said
Fae.
brownies.
Where are the brownies?
Nobody's paying attention.
So
So you're all wrong.
you were all wrong.
Oh, I was
I was
right.
closest, obviously.
There is,
Who
however, a
gets
love
create-
triangle.
Oh,
There is a love triangle,
It
and
was
it was
about
a
a
retelling.
I said 1800s post-apocalyptic.
Well, you were wrong.
It's
was
not
hilarious.
on our world.
it was retelling.
Because we don't have fae in our world.
There's no thorn bushes in kitchens and
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese.
There wasn't even any dirt, and she was trying to grow a whole bush. Worst book. Like, no sunlight. Of course it was
What
going
do
to
you have against hydroponics?
It was just, there was no science. She didn't use any of the
It was
necessary
a
ingredients.
retelling. It was definitely a retelling. So.
And the judges say...
Okay.
Katie.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
I love Beauty and the Beast. I have to read that.
You're Belle.
It's an
You
awesome
are
book, one of my
Belle.
favorites.